We have new roles! Oh my god! FM24, we have some new roles. Well, sort of one new role and a new ability. We have the ability to put liberos in back twos, and we have an inverted fullback now. And I wanted to take that seriously and make a new tactic that combines both of them and brings them together. Now, I think we can all agree they're quite complementary, but why not make something of your own? Why not make something of your own accord to see how it works together? And I'm excited to show you what I've done because I think it's a fun one. It's actually asymmetrical, and it's gonna be cool. And I'm excited to show you what we have in store. And I don't know, I was really excited by the challenge. It was a fun task to do, and I hope you guys are excited to see it because I'm really happy with what the results we've gotten for it are. So, as I had mentioned in the beginning, this is a tactic that focuses on using the new, well, the one new role and the other additional availability of the Libero in a back two. So, with that being said, our inverted wingback is going to be on this right side here, and our Libero is going to be right here. So, it's going to be, we'll put those in for you guys so you just know. Let's do. Just so you get an understanding of where those two are. So, with this tactic, the things that we're going to be looking for is a lot of kind of off-the-ball movement to help create things. So, with that being said, I'm going to show you a little bit what I mean by that. This is red. So, this guy's Shadow Sticker. He's going to be making this run. He's going to be making this run, so those guys are going forwards. This guy makes this run like this, and he makes kind of a more run like that. This guy here, also, he's going to be going forwards this way. This guy's a roaming playmaker, so he is going to be kind of in this space here, hopefully. Kind of like making this his domain. This guy's going to float around in these areas. And the Libero is going to come... Oops. Well, the Libero is going to come forwards more into those spots. And the inverted fullback will come in here. Our goalkeeper will come up. This guy will kind of hold in his role right there. And then our wingback will step forwards like this and get down get in there and get down the line like so. So we'll have that kind of shape working for us. Our guy patrolling in these areas, him doing that stuff, Libero helping to get forwards and help him out, and all those players in those roles. So that's kind of what we're looking for in the way this works. Now, the shape that we want to see when all this stuff is said and done is that we want to ensure that this guy here is tucked in a little more. We in essence want to see a shape that looks like this. So he's going to tuck in, these guys are going to be forwards here, he's going to have tucked in, this guy's going to have come up here, he's going to be over here like this, so we are going to have our, he's going to be over here, and over here the winger's going to be a little more isolated on that side, a little more space to him. He'll be roaming in these areas, we'll have this guy up here, this guy next to him, this guy tucked in, and the goalkeeper here. So in essence, like, this is kind of what I want to see, is the Libero in this space. He's kind of floating and doing his own thing. But otherwise, besides that, we have some nice lines that we can draw. We obviously have this kind of group here in terms of these guys. On top of that, we kind of have a bit of a trapezoid that's created almost with these guys here because of the like those pass and stuff, but just by the fact of this, you kind of have like your 3 and then your 2 almost, so you have those shapes there. You don't need but you kind of have that trapezoidal shape like so. That's kind of what we have there for the build out sake of it, but then on top of that we can obviously go into the players here. You can see we kind of have these trapezoid triangle like shapes that are created for the players to pass around with in this shape and the way we've created it. So I'm just drawing them all in, but you can kind of see what the idea is. That so Libero steps into this space, the inverted wingback covers him, we have the goalkeeper and the other center back in those areas there. The wingback steps high, then the Libero works with our roaming playmaker in the middle. Our Volante comes forwards and is with the this is supposed to be flopped. The Volante comes forwards and is with the inverted winger. well, the winger stays wide over here to offer that width, so you kind of get this 4, you get almost a 2-2-4-2 in essence. Then we have our shadow striker joining in with the 9 up top as well to really create and push that line forward. So that's kind of what we want to see from this is along those lines of those shapes, those rotations, which do that. And then obviously when we defend, we have our goalkeeper back, we have these guys kind of come out into these areas here, where we then go back to having a conventional back 4 with a player deep there. Obviously the Roaming Playmaker is a little higher, but still he'll do some stuff here and there. But then we have our wingers kind of dropping in, and then our 10 dropping in as well. So defensively it can be a little suspect as teams can kind of, which slight concern, can possibly kind of ping things through the spaces like this, ping and then like passing the ball through in those kind of ways, like passing out here like that. But the hope is that the Volante comes to him, Roaming Playmaker comes to him, or he goes here, or some combination that you hope that they do cover, as we do have some aggressiveness inside the way they're going to play. But besides that, just the sake of those things, which can be a slight issue. Otherwise, that's kind of what we're looking for with it. We want to create those kind of passing angles, those kind of opportunities, so that it looks like the tactic is almost a 3-back more than anything else. Like it's a back 3 with the wing backs, but it's already just higher up and more advanced, which is kind of what we're looking for when we want to design it and what I wanted to do with it. Obviously, it's a little unorthodox, a little different, but hopefully you guys are excited by it and a little interested in what it's going to do and how it's going to work. So we might as well get into the teams now and take a look at how it has worked. So we are here now looking at some of the teams. And you can see some things didn't particularly go very well for Brighton to start off with. The team was expected to finish, where is it? I forgot where I wrote this down. 8th. Sorry, they were supposed to finish 8th, and they ended up finishing 14th, which is really not great. So they definitely struggled with the adaptation of this. If we can see here, they did get runners-up in the FA Cup, knocked out in the third round by Leeds in the semi-final of the Europa League. So it did work for them in some cases, but in others they tended to struggle at times, which isn't great. So it's pretty annoying that they did struggle in those ways. Definitely very annoying. I mean, we can see a little bit of how things kind of didn't work out at times. I mean, they started off well with 2 wins, lost to Liverpool, then lost to West Ham. Draw with Palace, which isn't terrible, but then one in the Europe, which isn't bad, but then a loss to Wolves, a loss to Leeds, a crazy draw with Villa. They did do well in the Europa League, but again, lost to Sheffield United. Managed to draw with Bournemouth, but then they somehow beat Tottenham, beat United, but then again, like losses to Chelsea, here and there with Brentford, 6-1 against Burnley, Arsenal, Luton, Sheffield United. It's just a little too up and down, kind of in what they did and how things went. 3 straight games in a row and a loss, then a win there, winning in the cup. Did beat Luton, but then lost to Everton and Forest, but beat Arsenal, and it just was very up and down and kind of chaotic. Like 6-1 win against City, 2-0 loss to Young Boys, then a 5-0 win against Young Boys, then a 3-2 win against Burnley, then a win against Leeds, loss against Fulham, loss against United, win against Brentford, win against Chelsea, go through against Braga, like beat Newcastle on penalties, lose to them in the league. It's just very up and down and kind of chaotic and a bit of a mess of a team in the way they did things and stuff. So it just seemed they really struggled with some of that consistency in the way they did things. We can see they were the 8th best in terms of scoring, but really struggled defensively with the tactic and weren't able to really deal with things the way they wanted. We did have Ansu Fati score 21 goals, which is nice to see. He had 21 goals and 5 assists while playing. Let's just make sure that. Sorry, development, position. So he played mainly up top, where he scored 19 of those goals, which is good to see because that's kind of, we want that striker to be scoring a lot. But again, like, it's just kind of unfortunate that's how it is. We namely will probably want him off the left more than anything else. But that's kind of what happened. Lana playing a lot in the midfield or the attacking midfield, doing a decent job. So, like, some of the players did do really well. Who's like, we look at Matoma here, got 11 goals, 11 assists playing on that left wing. So things did work here and there. It's definitely feasible in some cases for sure, but didn't really seem to stick with this team very well, which is quite unfortunate. I mean, we can see lots of passing and accurate passing, kind of inaccurate crosses, not dribbling enough. We can also see that they did really underperform, with the expected position of 8th being significantly higher for where they played, and them really underperforming at a lot of points throughout the season. I mean, in attack, we can see there's a lot of good. The high line working well, the pressure being exerted high up the field, a lot of good shooting and stuff. So it was really, really bad defensively, making poor mistakes and conceding goals they probably shouldn't have, which is quite unfortunate because, as you'll see with some of these guys, things were quite different in the way they performed. Torona, who were predicted to finish 16th, we got up to 8th, and we're actually supposed to finish 4th in the end as well. So the team should have done even a lot better, which is say something for sure. In terms of the key players, Stuani and Ivan Martin had the most goals, and Ivan Martin, if I remember correctly, played as the 10, so he was the shadow striker, while Stuani was the 9. So just shows you how well the two work together, and that those two really become a front two, in that sense. Sagankov in this one had the most assists, who probably played off the right the most, and he did, which is not surprising. He played a little bit off the left, but generally he was going to play off the right. That just shows you a little more concrete. Obviously, they did go out to Zaragoza. The first round was sucks, but they really should have done a lot better, much higher up the table, which does suck. But they scored the 3rd most goals, and they had a pretty bad goals allowed, but they did score the 3rd most goals, which is nice to see. And you can see in some of the attacking senses, again, losing the ball mainly high up the field, scored a lot of goals, and you see some very up by the big boys in terms of the way the shooting and the high scoring and stuff like that. But you can see here some wasteful shots for sure, and then some leaky defensive actions and stuff like that as well, which isn't helping the team. So some tough things here and there, but again, for a team that's supposed to finish so low down the table, it's very impressive in my opinion. They started off the season in fantastic form, as you can see here, doing really good, beating Atletico Madrid, beating Real Sociedad, beating Almira. Then things kind of fell apart here. They did pick up a good result against Bilbao and stuff, but losses to Barca and Madrid. When things back to normal, doing well, beat Villarreal 6-0. Same with Sociedad. They did lose to Madrid here, did beat Almira and those guys, but then lost to Barca, Real, Bilbao, really got beat up there. I mean, there was a 5-5 with Mallorca, so there's some interesting games for sure. I mean, you can see here, Blue and late on and stuff. So definitely some good, some bad for this team in all levels. Definitely a bit of a mixed bag, but for what they did and how well they achieved, it's clear there's a good level of within the squad, and it does work well for some teams. I do think, though, it's going to be pretty clear. The left back, even here, got 10 assists. But I think it's going to be pretty clear at this point that you need to make sure that with this team and with this tactic, the team has to have kind of the right players for it. As I do think, without having a proper inverted fullback, it doesn't seem to work as well. Because if we look at, say, average rating, the guy that played at right back, the inverted fullback the most, got a 6.75, which is one of the more worst ratings on the team for that's played so many games. It's the worst guy who's played the most, so clearly it's not benefiting every single player in the teams when it does it. Now, the big one, though, I think is Kuhn. They were 13th, finished 6th, and should have finished 2nd. They were good enough to finish 2nd, according to this, which is crazy to me. So it just shows you how well it worked for some teams, because they were immaculate for most of the season. We can see here that knocked out 3-0 by Freiburg, that's alright. They managed to get Europe, but lost to Dortmund, that's fine, but some decent results there. Then wins against some teams. Did lose to Leipzig in the league, but then beat him in the cup. Narrowly lost to Bayern, some other good wins here and there, beating Union, beating Freiburg, then Heidenheim, Dortmund, Wolfsburg, all downed. Frankfurt, Hoffenheim, Werder Bremen, Stuttgart, Leverkusen, all downed as well. Gladbach and Leipzig losses, but down Augsburg. Bochum, come close against Bayern, take the lead and even blow it. Freiburg, Union, Heidenheim, they really did quite well in a lot of scenarios, and there's definitely some really good play by this team and made a really good impact in terms of some of the players. We can even see Pacarada from left back getting loads and loads of assists, as well as Kynes down the left as well. We can even see in the goals Waldschmidt as the 10 getting 21. We can see Uth as the 9 getting 14 as well. So clearly there's some good in the way it works for these teams, and they definitely can help. But I do think this tactic seems to work a little better when you're not the best team. it works a little bit as more of a mid-table or so side. But we even look at attack again. Really high area losing it, but really good shooting all around the board. Really clinical, really great in those areas. And a little weak defensively again, but definitely not as bad as others. I mean, the 9th worst defense, but 3rd best attack. So I definitely say it's a tactic of you score more than the opposition, which is all right because we do play very aggressive and very high. But it's definitely I'd say it works out pretty well for these guys. And I don't know. I think it's seems to be a quite a good one for them for sure. So in terms of the tactic itself, which we'll get into now, it is a custom clean slate tactic, which is a 4-2-3-1 on a positive mentality. We have a superkeeper on support in goal, who is the instruction to ease off tackles. We have an inverted fullback on the right with just shoot less often. We have a libero in the right center back position, which has shoot less often on him. We have a ball playing center back on the left, which has the instruction stay wider. We have a wingback on attack at left back, which has aim cross at center, run wide with ball, shoot less often, and stay wider. We have a segundo volante at left defensive mid with dribble more and tackle harder. A roaming playmaker at right center mid with pass it shorter, aim cross at center, and shoot less often. We have a winger on the right wing with support duty, who is aim cross at center and run wide with ball. The left winger is aim cross at, which is an inverted winger on attack, is aim cross at center and shoot more often. Our shadow striker at right cam is aim cross at center and shoot more often. And our striker at left striker is shoot more often as an advance forward on attack. In possession as a team, we look to play extremely narrow, overlapping on the left, focusing play through the middle and playing out of defense with a shorter passing mentality. We play with a higher tempo, we cross low and look to work the ball into the box to create our opportunities. In transition, we like to roll it out to our center backs where we play quickly too. We also look to counter and counter press as well when the opportunities arise. On top of that, we play with a high press line of engagement, a higher defensive line, press much more often, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and we get stuck in when tackling. Now, I hope this is something that's interesting to you guys and you're interested in using it and trying it out, because if so, feel free to download it in the links below. We have our Steam and our Mediafire links for everyone that is interested. On top of that, if you guys do want to check out some more tactics, we have some videos coming out soon. We also have prior videos that are going to be listed in the playlist at the end of this video if you guys are eager to watch or see some of those. On top of that, if you do want to join the Discord and give me some tactic requests or other things like that, do feel free, as that is a link in the description below, and you can scroll over to the RPG Data Hub tab on the Hall of FM Discord, and you can do so there. Once again, everyone, thank you so much for watching. If you did like, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more tactics and things going on the channel. Thank you again, everyone, for watching. I'll be sure to catch you guys in the next one.